in the 7 games we played against Russell Wilson, we've sacked him 30 times, and most of those have come since his playing with the Broncos, and then last year against Pittsburgh. So I think from the time he was in Denver to Pittsburgh, I think it was about 25 times they sacked Wilson. So obviously, I know it's a different system, different weapons that he has, but still, though, I mean, Russ is a similar playing style that he had in Denver and Pittsburgh. I mean, he's still playing with that. This is who he is. I do think that is something that talk about get right. You know, we've had to send the blitz and 9 dudes to get quarterbacks over the last few weeks. Hopefully, this could be a week too. Talk about the offense waking up. This could be a week where we see the defense and the pass rush kind of waking up against Russell Wilson. I mean, how do you guys think that happens? And plus, too, Karlaftis had a very slow start to the year, and I thought Karlaftis got a new contract coming to the year, kind of firing all cylinders. We haven't really seen him yet this year.
Nope. So I think you still take the approach, right? What worked well against him, and so you do blitz it 30 times, man. You think he's never forgotten that? I guarantee every quarterback understands if any team's going to come after him, it is right there in his psyche. He understands like this is what I'm going to see. So he's got to be worried about that. He's thinking about getting the ball out quick. And so what you do is, like I said, you got to be aggressive with the wide receivers. Wandale can get off on you. You know, he's a little scat guy that, can move anywhere. He make anybody miss. And then you stop the run game. But, as long as you do something like that, you kind of withhold them, you should be fine. Now, you were sitting there, you were talking. Let's say you were discussing. What was the second question? I'm sorry, I missed it.
About Karlaftis.
Karlaftis, yeah. So Karlaftis, I thought the same thing too. I thought the new contract, but this is where when we see that little Chris was kind of getting on him a little bit about, man, don't get comfortable now. I know you got paid a large sum of money, but don't act like you've arrived. And I'm not saying this is what happened to him. Obviously he's gone against, 2 great offensive linemen to keep him out from what he's doing. I mean, going against Lane Johnson is going to be tough for anybody. I don't care who it is. But I think they even tried to move it around somewhat. He still hadn't been a chance, get out there and sniff anything. Hopefully it can be effective. We'll just have to see. But I was hoping with this type of deal that he just got, he was going to see a little bit more thirsty, hungry Karlaftis, right? Trying to prove his worth to everybody. That's the reason I got this big contract. So I just, but we kind of knew what we were going to get though, Marcus, right? Teja, he's the one that he's relentless. He's going to fall into a couple of sacks. I've always said this is I want him to be able to get sacks off the initial, beat somebody off the jump. That's the difference to me when I'm looking at defensive ends. And so people are going to question and ask if he's warranted to have the contract that he's gotten. Did we pay him too early? I've seen a lot of that online. Should we have paid him that money? I'm like, they did. What are you going to do about it? Money's gone. It's spent. So now we're looking for production. So hopefully he'll take off, man, at some point. So we'll see. Not only just him. I'm talking about all the defensive ends. Every single one of those guys. And they got the talent. They have. They got the talent. I think they're just kind of missing, just missing the mark a little bit right now.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, this would be the week to do it. So I went back and looked at the last 5 games. So Denver to Pittsburgh. So I'll start with Denver. These are the amount of sacks we've had against Russ from Pittsburgh Russ to the first game we played against Denver Russ. 5 sacks, 6 sacks, 4 sacks, 4 sacks, 6 sacks. I mean, that's 5 games. It's an average of 5 sacks in those games against Russ. So Spags has his number. So this could be the game where we finally see the pass rush that we have so much money kind of invested in between Jones and Karlaftis. And yeah, even Charles Menahu. Hopefully he can get in on the party as well.
Yeah. And I know he's frustrated. He's expressed it. I see somewhere. I kind of laughed at this. I guess he unfollowed somebody because of, and I was like, hey man, the guys get tired of it. They do hear the chatter. They do. They hear it out here. And if you're saying anything online, guys like, look, I'm done with you. Right? It's just it is what it is. But
yeah, he unfriended or unfollowed Mark Gunnels or blocked Mark Gunnels on Twitter. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
And then he was very active on social media.
Yeah. He's one of the ones that will comment on someone if he's not liking a certain comment or whatnot, or block somebody if he doesn't like a certain comment.
Yeah. Well, we know, we're a supporter of his. I told him, I think, he was, when I'm seeing him over at camp, I know he's thirsty. He's hungry. And so it just needs to click with him. He just needs to get to that place. And so I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to have a big week. And I think what it is, it's going to take him to kind of get back to sniff exactly what it was, how it felt before the injury, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it's not just Omenu, right? We're talking about other guys in the defensive line. A lot of guys haven't really stepped up yet and, like, been that dude. So this would be, looking at the history, this would be the week that it's a get-right game for a lot of the guys, and everyone can kind of have a tee off and have a sack party. So Will's talking about Omar Norman Lott, who, came in big time last week with the Bill Goldberg spear on Jalen Hurts. That's another guy, right? That was like his first game. Got to see what he could do. And now talk about the growth and progression. We're only going to see that continue to go and go up with him. So I'm excited to see another week of Omar Norman Lott, of what he can do next to Chris Jones, number 95. So I'm very, very curious to see how he continues to develop and grow.
Yeah, I think it's going to take him a little bit more time to figure it out. But it was very encouraging to see him get that sack on Jalen. And you could tell he was fired up. And we knew he had missed a little bit of time during the training camp. So he'll catch up to speed, but I think he's one of those guys that's going to be a very pleasant surprise the next coming weeks. So we'll just have to see how it's going to look, this week. But we always look for somebody who's going to be that complementary piece to Chris Jones, right, on the inside. I'm holding my tongue on a few things, but man, it's, I had some film the other day on Wednesday to show, like, some of the snaps. Some guys it just wasn't it. It wasn't getting it done, and we need to get better from that standpoint, that position. So hopefully he's going to be able to fill that.
You're talking about defensive tackle?
Hmm.
You're talking about from the defensive tackle position?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw a few from the game when not rewatching, but I remember during the game watching a certain number. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but it was disaster, man. Just stonewalled and being driven back. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like that. Well, it's like a sequel to a movie we've seen for the last few years, which is why you and I have been dying for another defensive tackle to come in the room.
Yeah, and so look, I'll go ahead and say it. Okay. Watched him during the game, Derek Nottie. Okay. And when Derek Nottie came back here, we was expecting for him to come back and have something different for us than when he left. And so he had the injury before he had left out of here. I knew he was a little banged up, and I was like, okay, maybe that was part of the reason that his talent kind of, waned a little bit. But now, like last week, there was times that he did a good job, because I see he's like, okay, I'm here to take two. And he did that. There was time he took two blockers off, made sure the guy didn't get up to the second level. Okay. So he did his job in that regard, but also too, there's other things that he needs to do. Okay, and I'm always pushing for Derek Nottie. I do. I want the best for the guys to show. But sometimes you got to be able to create a power. You can't get driven off the ball 5 yards, and you're still in linebackers' way. So even if you take 2, it's really a moot point because you're still getting in the linebackers' way. The reason you're supposed to take 2 is so the linebacker can run free and float. That's what you want him to be able to do. And that first touchdown from Saquon Barkley running in, I mean, man, Drew Tranquil missed the lane, and Derek Nottie got washed down, and it just opened wide open for those guys. It just can't happen. It's just it's not good enough. And I know he's a much better player. And hopefully, when he came back, I was hoping he was going to be able to show, like, hey, man, I'm back here for a reason. They brought me back to give a little bit more than before I left. And so, what we talked about when Mike Pennell wasn't re-signed or we got rid of Mike Pennell, that he was going to be the answer. We talked about some of the young guys that's there. Are they going to be ready? What's the deal with that? And so, questions like that, man, we had to get serious about talking about, man, really. And like I said, man, I'm always not going to downplay a guy. I'm not going to, jump all over him or whatnot, but I do, and I know he knows to expect he needs to do a little bit better than what he's shown.
Yeah, look, we've said before, now he's been here for a long time. He was here during the era where we went in mid-season. We had to go get an elder statesman. We didn't end up signing Brandon Williams. And I remember we did a whole film study on how atrocious the defensive line was looking, where it was getting pushed back and Jones needed help. They brought in 40-year-old Brandon Williams, and he gave some good work for that latter part of that season that year. And then the following year, we bring in Mike Pennell, same kind of thing. And I know Mike Pennell's not a pass rusher by any means, but he's more of a run stuffing guy. But that's where we need the help, and we haven't really seen that from Nottie. So the fact they went and got him again, which is very, very confusing. I'm still confused for it because it seems like even till the right before the season starts, it was all options are on the table. It was our own front office wasn't even convinced of our own defensive tackle plan, which is just so odd. And there's still no plan for it. But all I can say is I hope Omar Norman-Lott can continue to grow into this guy faster than we expected.
Yeah, I agree. So, and like I said, man, we still pushing for him. Hey, man, listen, we need more from that position. We have to. And so whoever that may be stepping up, whether it be Tillery, whoever it is, we had to bring Minihu down. We seen bringing Ashton Gelati down. I think, matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Karlaftis might have been down there as a defensive tackle a couple of plays.
Yeah.
So we got to get a little bit of speed and the disruptive there. That's what needs to happen. And so if you are getting taken on 2, you best believe that you better create a pile or create some chaos, anything, claw, scratch, bite, whatever you need to do. But you got to make sure that you're going to be the demolition man right there on the line of scrimmage. That's where you got to dominate. So,
hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.